Hi everyone, it's Georgia, and this is the first bonus tutorial to follow our prayer box, which we made during the January 2022 Virtual Faith Art Retreat, More Than Words. Now, we created a little decorated box out of recycled food packaging. There was a bit of thinking behind it. For me, it's a little box that's going to sit on my desk, on my bedside table, somewhere, depending. It's going to move around a lot, I think, like most of my things. And it's going to have some special things in it. And as it turns out, it is the perfect size to fit my little Stations of the Cross flip album tag thing that I made during our Easter time retreat last year. So that fits in the box really nicely. It takes about half of it. So I can add some other things to it, which I had in mind when I planned this box. And these things are little mini booklets that will hold prayers and quotes from my favorite saints and other things that I'm sort of collecting along the way. So some of it will be made at a later date because I don't know yet. As usual, I don't know yet what it is that I'm doing, but there are a couple of things that I want to make right now because they were the things that I wanted to put in the box from the beginning. Now, the first one is going to be a little mini booklet that's going to have some special prayers and hymns in it. It does have a special purpose, and you can make yours for whatever theme you like. Now, I'm going to run through the quick making of the booklet, and this is quite a simple thing because I've cut a piece of card for the cover, I've cut some pages, and the things that I'm actually putting in there, I might type them up on my computer, print them out, just stick them in there. If that becomes too difficult, I might just write them out. So the inside is going to be very, very simple, just the words of the prayers and hymns that I want. And the cover is going to be pictures that I'm downloading from the internet and I'm going to print and stick as my cover. So there's not very much artwork, so to speak. First of all, I have cut a piece of card. Now, I have cut this card so that it is slightly taller. If I hold it landscape-wise, it's slightly taller than my box by about 1/4 inch. And then I measured the width of the box, took away a little bit of that width because I don't want it to be getting stuck or having trouble getting it in and out of the box. So I measured my box, and my box is about 3.5 inches across. So I thought, okay, I want my booklet to be about 3.25. So when you double that, so double the width that you want. So mine was 3.25, so I get 6.5. I'm going to score this one simply because it's a little bit difficult to fold perfectly. So I'm going to score it at 3.25, which, if I can do maths, will be the halfway point. And when I fold that in half, I end up with the cover for my little booklet, which will fit perfectly in there. I wanted it to stick out just a little bit because I don't want to be digging down in there trying to find things. I want to be able to see them. So that's my cover. I have cut out 5 pieces of paper, slightly smaller than the cover. That way, when it's folded over, I don't have the pages sticking out the edge, because this is, for once, something that I want to look neat instead of my usual. I like things to look scraggy and shabby. So I'm folding these without the scoreboard because it's only paper. So I've cut this paper out of my sketchbook simply because it's a little bit thicker than just copy paper, which I normally use in journals. But it's not as thick as something like scrapbooking paper or watercolor paper. So it's kind of that in between because I want it to be flexible and soft. It is the pages that I'm writing or sticking things on, but I want it to have a tiny bit more strength than just your average copy paper. I think I'm going to make this as a traditional type journal, so I'm putting the pages one inside the other. Grabbing my bulldog clips, I'm going to clip the pages onto the cover. And then I'll turn this off while I do this, but I'm going to grab my sewing machine for this. Shout out to my friend Lydia. You've got me doing this. And I'm actually going to sew the spine with my sewing machine. So there's my little booklet all sewn up. And I'm kind of wondering whether I want to cut this thread or keep it hanging with something on it. So for now, I'm just going to tie a double knot, and I'm going to keep it long just for now because I'm not quite sure what I want to do there. So the next part really, so simple, is to add whatever you want to it and decorate your cover. Okay, so I've had a lot of fun with my printer, and I say that very sarcastically. I always have so much trouble getting things to print at the size I want them, especially when I'm playing with funny shaped or funny sized things like this that are not the standard size of the printing template. But I think I have managed to get what I want for now. Okay, so this little booklet that I'm making will be one of many in my little box, but this is going to be a little hymn/prayer booklet that I can bring to Holy Hour of Adoration, and I am putting a few things in it that we sing/pray. And yeah, okay, we're going to see how this goes as I go, because I'm not sure, I'm still making it up. As always, I am ripping my page because what I want to do is give this a bit of an sort of aged look, not too much because I know the paper is white. I should have done this on tea-dyed paper or something, but once again, I'm not prepared. Oh, this is the second time I've done that. Wow, I've just ripped right through the words. So I'm going to, oh gosh, thank goodness for washi tape, right? I'm just going to put a little bit of washi tape on the back. Here I was saying I want this to have an aged look. I've really aged it by ripping it and making it all torn and old and ripped. Something. Okay, crafting when tired is not a great idea. See if I can rip the other bit. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 verses, and because some of the lines are really long, they're not going to fit on my page. So I'm thinking I might have to stick it kind of long ways, which will be fine. And as always, just eyeballing it. And as I'm sitting here ripping, I'm sort of thinking, I'm trying to do in my head the measuring and going, is this going to all fit on my page? Because I'm not real great at judging distance and size just by sight, which gets me into a whole lot of trouble when it comes to having things that fit on my journal pages and, you know, just generally in life, really. I think it's going to just fit. Let's have a quick look. Don't like that it's going to go over the spine, but we'll make that work. Oh, look at that, just. Yeah, well, we will make it, I'll make it fit. I'm going to make it fit somehow. It's going to work. It will work. It's going to be just, but it will work. Okay, so I'm going to just ink around the edges with my fossilized amber distress ink. And of course, you don't have to do this. Depending on what you plan on using your little booklet for, you might want to write things in yourself. And if you print things out, you don't have to rip them and ink them. You might want a really nice, neat, ordered look to your prayers or songs or whatever you decide to put into your notebook. I'm just grabbing my little silicone mat, and I'm going to actually age that just a little bit, just by rubbing some ink over it. Not all of it, just bits and pieces. So I want this for not the first page. This might be some sort of title page. I think I'll probably put a little prayer on here when I find just the one I want. So if I start this right at the top, because I made the pages just a tiny bit smaller than the cover, I can actually have this overlapping or sticking out of over the edge just a bit. So pop that on here. put the mat underneath that page so that I don't accidentally stick the page to the cover, since I've got that little bit overlapping and it has glue on it. Oh, there we go, I quite like that. And then if I put the second bit, oh look, perfect. I like that. I think it's great. In my little tiny opinion, I think it's great. All right, and then I've got another one that I want to put over the page here somewhere. And this one I have the Latin version and the English version, and I'm going to do the same thing and ink around my edges. Okay, and oh well, this will fit nicely like this. Okay, so I have these two so far. The story so far, I need to do a cover page or a title page. So I have my two hymns that we sing on the first couple of pages. And then I'm going to put in, there's a few other things I want to stick in here and some prayers, and that will happen over the course of time. I might even do a little bit of journaling at the back, who knows, I'm not quite sure yet. So that's just to give you an idea of the sort of thing that you can do in your pages, but of course you can do whatever you like. You might do something completely different. You might like to do a little art journal, whatever you like. Now I'm just going to do the cover, and for that I have printed off a couple of pictures off the internet. So I am keeping this very, very simple. So the first one I have is a quote from Saint Teresa of Lisieux, and see, I've got this sort of gold, well, the closest I had to gold coloured cardstock. I didn't want to use my shiny gold. I think that would have looked a little bit, I don't know, carnival. But I've got this almost gold coloured cardstock, and this is on black, so I think it looks quite nice. But I'm sort of thinking maybe matting it with white. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think matting it with white might be kind of nice. And I'm just going to use a little bit of an offcut from the sketchbook paper that I was using. I think it's not perfect white, but it's good enough for me. And as always, kind of eyeballing it. So I'm just sticking my picture onto the white card. And then sticking that onto the center, just like that. And it's nice and simple, and it looks pretty, like that. I know I still have these threads hanging out, but I do have a plan. I'll tell you about it in just a second. And then this one, I thought this would be great as the back cover. I am with you always to the end of the age, and it's on the end, to the end of the book. I know it's such a Georgia thing to do. And look, I have this little bit of white left, and I think I will match that as well. And I'm being very well behaved. I'm just doing a quick, this is the craft, this is how I'm doing it. There's so much I could say, and I could go all TMI at this point, but I'm holding back. I'm being aware of my audience and just holding back the TMI moments, which is very unusual, I know. I'm just popping that in the center. Now what I want to do is put a little bit of ribbon or something along the spine, and then when I do that, these bits of thread from the beginning and end of my spine sewing, I want to actually stick underneath whatever I use along the spine. That way the stitching won't come undone. It'll be like a way of anchoring the ends of the thread down a little bit more securely. So I'll find something for the spine, and absolutely perfect. I've pulled out this cream coloured lace ribbon. First of all, I want to try and glue that thread down just so that it doesn't fly around annoying me while I'm trying to get the spine happening. So just a tiny dab of glue along the spine and pushing the thread down along the spine like that. Okay, now I'm just going to put a little bit of glue along the front cover close to the spine and laying my ribbon on that so that it's sort of half of the width is on the front cover of the book. And then I'll do the back. This is definitely a job for the bulldog clips. And I'll keep those on for a while to hold it down while it dries. Right, hopefully this is dry. I will take these clips off. Now, just like my previous project, I have not put enough glue right up to the edges, but I will fix that because I plan to give this a coat of collage medium that will seal the cover, and I will put a little bit of it underneath the lace trim and that will hold it down. I'll also make sure I paint some of it over the edge of the lace where I cut it, and that will help to stop it from fraying over time. I'm very tempted to put some embellishments and things on the front here, but I keep reminding myself, no, it's a booklet that's going to go into my pre-box. It needs to stay flat. Now I just have one more thing that I want to put in here. So this has been a little bonus project just to show you how to make a quick little booklet to put into your pre-box. Haven't quite finished the cover. I do need to seal it with collage medium. You could use Mod Podge, clear gesso, anything you like, or you can just leave it as is. I am playing with the idea of maybe putting a washi tape border along the edge of the pages. Not quite sure about that yet, we'll see. I'd still need to get my title page. I have a few of the pages filled in, and then the rest of the book is still empty, yet to be finished. When it's completely finished, I will put separate pictures of all the pages into an album on my Facebook profile, the link for which I will put down below. And I think I'll leave it at that. So this is a little booklet. You can fill it with your prayers, with quotes, with scripture writing, with anything you like, and pop it into your little pre-box, and that's ready to pick up whenever I need it. So I'm going to make a few others. There may or may not be another bonus project this retreat, depends on whether or not I have time to make one. If I don't, maybe I will post it a little bit later during the week. I do have another different type of mini book that I want to make to pop into this box. So there will be a video coming. Whether or not I make it in time for the retreat, we'll see. Okay, so this is it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.